Hi classmates, my name is Thomas Van Deinse and I will be giving a presentation on digital signage. And just to give you a quick outline of what I'm going to do, I'll first talk about what is digital signage, and then I'll get into kind of a current status of digital signage referring to the market and kind of the money and numbers of digital signage, a worldwide type view of the market. And then we'll look at the types of environments of digital signage. So where is digital signage appearing and what's the purpose in each of these environments? We'll get into details about those environments. And then I will take a look at the recent developments of digital signage, so kind of the technological side of it. What are some of the new technologies of it? And then we'll look at the factors to watch. In the years to come, what can we expect with digital signage? And then finally, I'll of course conclude with the closing question for digital signage. So first of all, what is digital signage? The Digital Signage Association refers to digital signage as an electronic screen, like an LCD or an LED or a plasma screen that provides content. It presents content such as information, maybe weather information or news information, entertainment, advertisements, of course. Digital signage is an evolution of audio and visual equipment, television screens, computer monitors, media players, kind of all meshes together, and it's evolved to digital signage. And digital signage is referred to now as the fifth screen. The fifth screen in the evolution of screen technology. You have the first screen, which was the movie screen, and then you go on to the television screen, and then to the computer screen, and then into the mobile phone, which is the fourth screen, and then finally this fifth screen of digital signage. And what makes the fifth screen unique is that the content or the message is being initiated from the signage. So the digital signage is actually seeking to give you the right message at the right place at the right time, whereas with the other screens you can certainly access the right message at the right place, but it's more of your own initiative with the other screens. But with digital signage, the sign itself is taking the initiative to give you, specifically you, the right message at the right place at the right time. And so I'll talk about in a minute how that works, but that's what's unique about the fifth screen, about digital signage. Kelson in our textbook refers to digital signage as a new experience medium. It really engages users in the moment, in the experience, and it offers a new level of connectedness, is what he says, Kelson says in our textbook. So with this new level of connectedness, we're going to find new technologies that are being used. And again, in a second, I'll get to how that works. But first, let me talk a little bit about the hardware and the software. The hardware is simple with it. It's just a screen, electronic screen, plasma, LED, or an LCD screen. Then the software used, a content management software, can be used for either, it could be premise-based, or it can be software as a service. Premise-based is in-house, and software as a service is outsourced. And with premise-based content management, that software, you can have greater flexibility in what you project each and every day, and you have greater security over your content. So a lot of businesses like that about premise-based software. The con is, though, you have to probably have some kind of IT guy in place to be managing your content for you. So often that's too costly for a lot of small businesses. They opt for the software as a service, so they don't have to hire a full-time IT guy. There are pros and cons to premise-based in-house software or software as a service, the outsourced kind. But now we're going to move into the next slide that we're going to look at. So we're at the third slide. We're going to look at the current status of the digital signage market. The digital signage market is a $14 billion industry, or at least it's projected to be in about 2 years. This year there will be 22 million digital signs, and the US is the largest market for digital signage, and Asia is the fastest growing market for digital signage. It's actually having rapid growth around the world. So with all this rapid growth, what kind of environments is digital signage appearing in, and what is the purpose of it? Well, that leads into the next slide. The next slide is we're going to talk about the types of environments of digital signage. You can see that there's three types. There's the point of wait environment, there's the point of sale environment, and there's a point of transit environment. And each of the next three slides now we'll talk about those in a little bit more detail. The point of wait environment is something you'll see at like a doctor's office or a dentist's office. And it scrolls through still images that have messages on them or short video presentations. I know at my dentist's office they have one where they show a video of how to brush your teeth the right way or how to floss the right way, or they might show a still image of before and after of teeth, showing the work that they can do there. So it gives people information as they're waiting. And one of the great things about digital signage then is it cuts down on the clutter of paper signage, and it provides for greater flexibility to update your content daily if you want it, and even instantly when you need it. Then the next environment is point of sale, and you're seeing point of sale digital signage at retail businesses. Shopping malls have it for various items that are on sale that day. You'll see it at restaurants for using digital signage as their menu boards. They might even be updating, especially for restaurants that update their menu daily. They use digital signage to do that. It'd be a lot harder to do with traditional paper signage. And movie theaters are using it at their counters near the refreshment stand. Supermarkets are using it to show video demonstrations of recipes near the deli section. So you're seeing a lot of that at point of sale to give out more information. And then, of course, advertisements. We're never going to escape the advertisements within this. And then the last environment is wayfinding. Wayfinding is simply people negotiating the space around them and then getting to where they need to go. So we're seeing a lot more at transportation hubs, airports, buses, train depots. You're seeing even taxi cabs. You're seeing digital signage there to help people get to where they need to go. There's navigational tools within the digital signage. There is travel information like your flight number, your time it's going. The navigational tools help you to get to that place. Entertainment, you might be waiting on the subway, traveling, entertainment. Of course, it's going to present ads as you're waiting in taxi cabs and other information. There's a lot of information, advertisements that's going on with the wayfinding, getting people to where they need to go in point of transit environments. Digital billboards are another popular one with that. Digital billboards are putting more advertisements out there, but then also giving information for traffic updates or for exit signs off the highway, even Amber Alerts when there's missing children. So we're seeing a lot of information coming through, not just advertisements with digital signage. Then that leads into recent developments with digital signage. And two of the most important ones are the engagement and the interactivity. I mentioned before about how digital signage seeks you. It seeks you to give you the right message at the right time. It tailors a message for you based on sensors and cameras and gesture technology. So it may read your gender and approximate your age and then tailor a message for you. And then that leads to more interactivity. So if it's tailoring a message to me, I would come up to it and then click on the content through interactivity with a touch screen, and that would lead to more information on the content I clicked on. And as that's happening, there might be other areas on the screen with other content. On one part of the screen might give me the weather in an area, and then it might, if I'm looking to go to a certain part of town, it might put an advertisement for a local restaurant around there, or it might give me a game in the other corner of the screen while I'm waiting for a taxi cab to come and pick me up. So digital signage is definitely using, there's definitely a lot more usage with digital signage, not just one screen, kind of like Windows, more things are popping up. And that's then the multi-use is leading into signage as journalism. The New York Times is using signage to scroll through news stories, and then people can click on or subscribe to news stories to read the full story, or they can buy the paper. It entices them to actually purchase more of the news from the New York Times. religion, signage and religion. Churches are using digital signage for posting up scripture verses behind them, for posting prayer requests in the hallways. So you see the multi-use of digital signage coming about, and it's really coming about through all this engagement and this interactivity initiated by the sign, which is kind of cool. But then that leads into a discussion, and these are the factors to watch I'm getting into now with the next slide, a discussion on intrusion and then content regulation. Those are the first things that come up with factors to watch. Is there's many cries now with privacy standards being violated with a sign reading basically who you are and then collecting data on you. So the industry is starting to adopt more standards to help keep people's privacy, like opt-in agreements for data collection, or like not collecting data for minors under the age of 13. There are various standards in the industry to help regulate content. And then the government is also stepping in too with like digital billboards, for instance. They're regulating how bright they can be, how flashing lights, intermittent fast-moving objects or content on the digital billboards. So the government is starting to step in, not just the industry with regulation. The government's starting to step in with regulation. And then so here's where I think that's going to lead. Then what to look for is with sustainability. Digital signage does help with sustainability, earth-friendly practices by reducing the number of trees that are used because there's not as many paper signs. As government would probably now start to limit how many trees can be cut down for paper use, I could see that as a potential to drive digital signage as legislation potentially comes to limit how many trees can be cut down for paper. Digital signage will probably be spurred by that. And then the last trend to look for with digital signage is just more of the wayfinding information that is being given to users, the different ways it's being given, whether it's through smartphones communicating with digital signs to give you step-by-step directions, or to give you 3D layouts of buildings, realistic pictures of the red couch here and the green sign there and the water cooler there, and so you know where to turn. Really advanced technology, wayfinding technology to give you information. And so that's one kind of unique feature with digital signage, is there's a lot of information, not just advertisements, but a lot of information with digital signage. But then of course you still have a ton of advertisements that are going to be coming with this. And then that leads to my final slide here and final question or thought, and that is, how much is too much? With digital signage, maybe you're not worried so much about the privacy of it. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But either way, are you comfortable with then this daily bombardment of tailored messages to you? Is that going to get sickening? I mean, is it just going to overwhelm you every day, a tailored message for you? More and more advertisements through this digital signage, especially when it's seeking you. You're not seeking it, but it's seeking you. So that would be my question to you all. Hopefully you can help me answer, is how much is too much with this? Have we reached it? And if we haven't, where is it? So hopefully you can help me answer that question. I appreciate you watching this entire presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, and I'll try to address those and help with the answer to that question of how much is too much with digital signage. Thank you.